Hello and welcome to a new episode of Entheogenic Renaissance. In this episode, I'm gonna be busting some myths around psychedelics or entheogens. 80% of the population have misconceptions around psychedelics, and today I'm going to bust some myths that are contributing to that staggering number. Intrigued? Turn on, it's gonna be interesting. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and put your comments and maybe you know some other myths that require busting, because I have a lot of scientific data and a lot of proof that can help you out to bust some of those myths. Alright, so stay tuned. Alright, why am I doing it in the first place? I've come to know after many conversations with people about the therapeutic potential of entheogens, and I've been talking to a lot of people about it. As you now know, I've been extremely excited about the therapeutic potential of entheogens in treating various types of mental illnesses and diseases. And unfortunately, the topic is still stigmatized in many societies around the world. So I'm on a mission to normalize the conversation around psychedelics, or entheogens, as I prefer to call them. Because, don't forget, it's what people perceive, and typically people have a bit difficult or strange relationship with the word psychedelic. That's why I will try to use word entheogen, although in some cases I may accidentally use psychedelic here and there. Just don't blame me for that. Why do we need to talk about myths? So the problem with disinformation and stigma in the society is around how people perceive certain substances. And this is a problem that's been caused by authorities that have been providing misinformation on a systemic basis over the course of decades. So today I'm gonna bust some myths and uncover the inconvenient truth, actually. So, first and foremost, let's just do a quick reminder on what are the classic psychedelics. Those are LSD, psilocybin mushrooms that are in magic mushrooms, ayahuasca, DMT. But in the majority of cases, that list also includes ketamine, MDMA, cannabis, and other similar substances. So I will be talking about those substances in this particular episode, alright? So, myth number 1, psychedelics cause brain damage. I don't know what to tell you, pure bullshit. There is no evidence whatsoever. It's not that I didn't search it, I did search a lot, and I did prepare for this particular episode, and I have read dozens, if not hundreds, of scientific publications around the not only therapeutic potential of entheogens, but in generally how they work, what is the chemistry behind them, and everything that's related to the topic of entheogens and human consumption. So trust me, I do know a lot. That's why I'm bringing you information that is verified by the scientists. And there is not a single scientific paper that is proving that there is brain damage that being caused by psychedelics. There was a study at some point in time, in 90s if I remember correctly, and in that study scientists gave MDMA to apes, and then they made MRI scans of their brains, and they saw some black spots, which they then claimed are the causes of the MDMA consumption. Two things. First and foremost, it was not MDMA as it turned out, it was methamphetamine. It's a different drug which is widely known as speed, and it is quite harmful for human body and brain, but it's nothing like an entheogen, first of all. Second of all, when you take an MRI, different areas of the brain are being highlighted or active, and if there's a dark spot, it doesn't mean that there's a hole in it. The only way one can cause a hole in a human's brain is by inserting an external object in it, like nail or something like that. Otherwise, it's just not possible to cause that significant or that type of damage to a human brain, especially by entheogens, because they are safe. Myth number 2. Entheogens are addictive. Again, pure bullshit. Neither LSD nor psilocybin, as well as other entheogens, cause physical dependency, unlike drugs like heroin, which is an opiate made from poppy. However, having said that, there is a potential for psychological abuse, and out of those substances that I've listed before, probably two substances that may cause psychological dependency, which are ketamine and cannabis. The rest, they just don't cause addiction. People cannot get hooked or addicted to entheogens. But if somebody is facing an addiction, first thing you need to do is reach out for help if you cannot fight it on your own. If it is affecting your life, it is time to intervene. So remember, even though entheogens are not causing addiction, neither physical nor psychological, there is a potential for a abuse for ketamine and cannabis. All right. Myth number 3: people go insane. Especially there's a widely distributed myth about people having 7, I don't know why, but 7 trips of LSD and then being admitted to mental institutions. This is pure bullshit. Again, I don't know who created the myth in the first place, but it just doesn't work like that. People do not go crazy by themselves simply because they've tried an entheogen. People may have a feeling that they're losing their mind when entheogen is in their body and brain. But when it leaves the body, people are okay and they go back to normal. Their psychological perception of themselves and the world becomes normal again. So people do not go crazy because of an LSD trip. Myth number 4: there is no therapeutical use or value of entheogens or psychedelics. Again, total bullshit. This is a myth propagated by government and other institutions, society, that, people just use it recreationally and that's it. They cannot heal, they cannot benefit humankind. That's why they are on a Schedule 1 substance list, meaning they have no therapeutic value. This is pure bullshit because nowadays you can find dozens, if not hundreds, of scientific publications, medical research and clinical trials proving the fact that entheogens can help treating various types of mental illnesses such as OCD, anxiety, anorexia, various types of depressions, PTSD, and not only that. So there is a proof that they have therapeutic potential. So, whatever they say that they can help and treat people, it's pure bullshit. Myth number 5: entheogens cause flashbacks. Again, no scientific evidence whatsoever that substances somehow build up in your body and at some point in time they're being released and then all of a sudden you're tripping in the middle of the day. Again, pure bullshit. There's neither an evidence to supporting that information nor there is any background to it. There are some people that claim that they've experienced flashbacks from time to time. But then again, it is something out of the ordinary and it is rarely a case when people have those flashbacks. There's no scientific data proving it. Moreover, there is a lot of data proving otherwise, that they do not cause flashbacks and they do not get accumulated in human body. Myth number 6: entheogens cause mutations in genome or DNA. Oh my god, that was a big one actually. I do remember this one when I was a young person, and yeah, being 37 years of age, I haven't seen any mutations in my body. But again, there's evidence saying that there's no mutation happening. So people have, scientists have tested blood of people, not tasted, but tested blood of people doing entheogens or psychedelics, and there's no scientific evidence whatsoever that would support such claim. There is no gene mutation, nothing is happening with your DNA, so forget about it. Again, it's a myth and pure bullshit. Myth number 7: people can kill themselves or die because they've consumed an entheogen. This is a tricky one because when somebody is on entheogen, typically such person feels the unity with the universe and an extreme heightened level of pure love and joy for life in the first place. Of course, if it is done consciously. If somebody is on entheogens without knowing it, they may find themselves as if they're losing their mind. That's why it is absolutely important to make sure that such situation won't happen and people don't find themselves tripping without knowing that. So people cannot kill themselves while tripping, but people can do stupid shit and believe, for instance, that they are either invisible or invincible or that they can fly. That's why it is critical to have a sitter that would take care of a tripping person. Otherwise, there is a tendency for people who tried psychedelics at least once in their life to not commit suicide. Because such people recognize that life is the most precious thing in existing universe. Myth number 8. Entheogens are for all. This is easy, right? So there are people who claim that each and every person can try psychedelic once in their life. While this may be true, there are some limitations to it. And if you or your first bloodline relatives have schizophrenia, bipolar disease, or other types of severe mental illnesses, it is better you not do entheogens in the first place, especially if you are on an SSRIs. You cannot do it. It is not safe for you. One other thing, it is better not do entheogens and don't try them before the age of 25. Why 25? It is not about being a legal age of consumption. It is about the processes that are happening in your brain. So the general development of your brain and the plasticity is happening till the age of 25. However, after you reach age of 25, your brain still continues to develop, but the active phase is happening before 25. So as they say, entheogens have a quality that is called ego dissolution, so they can demolish or dissolve your ego. So prior to dissolving your ego, as they say, it is better to first of all have one. And by 25, you are a person who has a developed ego. That's why you're less likely to cause yourself any harm. So ideally, stay away from entheogens till you're 25. Myth number 9. Entheogens are new substances and they've been introduced to the world in the middle of 20th century. Complete bullshit. People have been using entheogens for thousands of years. There is archaeological evidence saying that people have been using entheogens in various parts of the world, both in New World and Old World, meaning Europe, Asia, Americas, northern and southern parts as well. Not sure about Australia though. But anyway, you can find not only archaeological evidence, but there is other evidence saying that they have been used over millennia to not only treat various types of illnesses, but also to communicate with God, which means they've been used in religious servings. That's why those people that say entheogens are just newly developed drugs, they're bullshitting you. There are some substances that have been synthesized in 20th century. For instance, MDMA, LSD, or psilocybin. But the thing is that LSD and psilocybin, even though being synthesized by a Swiss pharmacist Albert Hofmann, have been existed in the natural world in plants. Actually, not in plants, but in fungi. It's not that they appeared out of nowhere. There is other one that is called MDMA. That one was synthesized and it is a product of a lab. There is a whole set of other synthetic designer drugs created by a son of Russian immigrant family, Alexander Shulgin, also known as Sasha Shulgin. He created roughly 200 or 300 various types of drugs that are somewhat similar to entheogen, and of course those are the new ones. But if you look at the history of humankind, you can find information about people consuming entheogens for the millennia, okay? Finally, myth number 10. If you prepare for a trip, you cannot have a bad trip. Again, unfortunately, it is a bullshit. With psychedelics or entheogens, there's a funny thing. However much you prepare, however much you put attention into set and setting, you are never guaranteed that your trip is going to be a life-changing one. There is a phrase calling those types of trips called meh trips. They do happen, and nobody is protected against having a meh trip. And this is the beauty of it. You can never know what you will experience. There are some phrases saying that when you're using entheogens, you're not getting what you want, you're getting what you need. That's the beauty and the danger of it. And there was a particular phrase that describes the nature of psychedelic substance. It sounds as following. To fathom hell or go angelic, just take a pinch of psychedelic. It means that you can go either experiencing the most divine, life-changing moment, as well as the most darkest in your life. But again, don't forget, this is all a temporary experience. It's gonna pass. So even though you may experience a bad trip or a difficult trip, as they call it, best thing is to learn something from it, because it is not external, it is your own psyche talking to your conscious mind. Alright? So let me try and summarize all those 10 myths that I've just busted. And again, just to highlight the most important thing, it is that it is scientifically proven that those myths have no evidence whatsoever. So 10 myths that I've just busted. First one, entheogens can damage your brain. Pure bullshit. Myth number 2, entheogens are highly addictive. Again, pure bullshit. Myth number 3, you can go mentally insane. People don't go insane on entheogens, only temporarily, don't worry. Myth number 4, entheogens have no therapeutic use. Again, pure bullshit, they're being used to treat various types of mental illnesses. Myth number 5, they cause flashbacks. Not really. Myth number 6, they can cause gene or DNA mutation. Myth number 7, you can die on entheogens or even kill yourself. Myth number 8, entheogens are for all. Not really. Myth number 9, entheogens are new substances. And finally, myth number 10, if you prepare, you can have a bad trip. Just to remind you, each and every myth is a total bullshit, okay? So do your research. Find information, it is available online. Just go Google stuff, you can find shitload of publications, but don't forget to look into the details, because that's where the devil sits. You can find a study that says these or that, but then once you start to dig in, you quickly realize that that study is designed in a shitty manner, or that the amount of people that been participating in the study is not that significant, or that something is flawed. So whatever you hear from people, don't trust everything you hear and double check the facts. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, spread the knowledge, and leave me a comment. What are other myths that you've heard about psychedelics or entheogens that may be widely known and somehow miss me, okay? Just to clarify, I am not advocating for the use of entheogens for recreational purposes. I'm just informing people. Unfortunately, in the majority of countries, they are on at least one schedule-controlled substances, which means that they are illegal to possess or sell or buy. So be mindful about that. Don't break the law, but there is a lot of information that is available to you. There are countries where entheogens are legal, and there are countries where you can get a prescription for a psychedelic assisted therapy. If you're willing to find a sitter, make sure that you trust the sitter and that such sitter won't put any strange thoughts in your mind. Because when people are on entheogens, they're in a very suggestible state. Please take care of your mental health, stay safe, and stay tuned. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and until next time.